What's up, good people? Listen, it's Nikki Blends. Today's topic, entrepreneurship for Legacy Speaks. Listen, when it comes down to entrepreneurship, because of the energy and excitement, it causes us sometimes to be blinded to the important things that we first must take in consideration. Tabitha Brown just recently dropped a video, and she was just simply explaining to individuals that may be pursuing entrepreneurship that you may need to go get a job. And there was a lot of backlash from that. And in a lot of cases, it's hard to hear the truth, and an important time for us to step back and actually look at her and her life. And not to say that it's a blueprint or a done all, but she is talking of the proof that's in the pudding. Like, she has lived it and she's given that wisdom. But in a lot of cases, that hard truth may be hard to digest, because when she stated that needing to go and get a job because of the income not coming in, is first important to understand that if you are pursuing entrepreneurship and it's not bringing in money immediately, in a lot of cases you can look at it as being a hobby because of it not being able to be the source of income to meet the needs of everyday survival. So when she said getting a job, I completely understood that. A lot of people didn't know that I've been cutting hair for like 20 some years, but barbering has always played a role as being part-time. Passion, entrepreneurship was fully there, but also the reality check of trying to survive. Being a new and upcoming barber and trying to walk away from a 9-to-5 would have been ludicrous. Because of the simple fact that I am still building the brand, still trying to show why I'm worth the investment, trying to establish consistency, trying to establish the flow and what my brand and business would entail. And so to take and put all that in one basket would essentially set myself up for failure. So I knew, one, I had a passion for cutting and a desire, but I also had purpose when it came down to serving the youth. So I've worked in the school system for years before taking and doing a full-time leap of entrepreneurship. And I was grateful for that, because in a lot of cases, not understanding that behind the scenes, like, you could stand behind a chair and cut hair all day, but what about insurance? What about retirement? What about being able to have a fund saved up just in case of having issues, whether it's HVAC or, equipment breaking and things of that nature? Where does that money come from? And so I want to challenge any entrepreneur out there that might have had challenge listening to what Tabitha said because of having blinders on, that in every business, you need an investor. And so instead of taking and having to rely on other people, why not be the main person that invests in your business? Yeah, if you have to take and go work a 9-to-5 just to bring steady income so that you can be in a space to be present and making sure that you're creating a strong foundation for your business to survive, what's wrong with that? And so instead of taking and having to depend on other people, whether it be a loan from a bank, you be your own bank. You take and stack that money up so that you're able to funnel that money that you're making from the 9-to-5 back into your business. I wouldn't have been able to open up my own studio and take and go on this full term of entrepreneurship had it not been for a 9-to-5. Just because of the reality check that when it comes down to entrepreneurship, everything falls on you. You don't have that security blanket of somebody else being held accountable, reliable. Say, for instance, needing to have that insurance that if there was an incident that happens on your business, that you are fully responsible for. I think sometimes with entrepreneurs, we got one foot in the door and one foot out. We want to have the perks, the income, and all of that. But when it comes down to taking and sitting down and making sure that the books are in place, making sure insurance is in place, making sure that we're operating fully as a business, then we don't understand that aspect. And that's all that simply said, what I took from it when she said to take and get a job. Is because you have a lot of entrepreneurs that have the greatest potential but never see the light of day because of the struggle. And being able to have that extra flow of income will allow your mental to be in a different space. I'm going to tell you honestly, like trying to juggle full-time entrepreneurship without having that capital or that support behind the scene begin to wear with the mental. And so it's not saying that you failed. It's not saying that you're not good enough, but it's actually you operating in wisdom, because it says, once again, I'm investing back into my business by making sure that I am the person that I'm able to lend from, as opposed to having interest rates and things that could hurt your business later on. Secondly, is me taking and saying, you know what, this is not the place in which I want to stay, and let that be the driving force that pushes you to that full-time entrepreneurship, but in a place where you're able to be successful, and not one of those businesses that have to close down within the first year to 5 years because of not taking and working smarter, but was working harder. You taking and having to come in and work 15 plus hours just trying to make the bare minimum does not make sense. And again, it does not say that you have failed, but it's saying, you know what, I'm willing to invest my time as well as my funds, because I actually have that fund coming in to be able to help support. And so within the community, I think it's important that before we take attack on what someone has said, that we step back and actually, one, look at the life that they're leading by, and two, just take the time to listen. Like somebody telling you to get a job because there's no money coming in. I remember my mom always saying something is better than nothing. And we can't be too prideful where we say, oh, I'm not going to work somebody's 9 to 5. I'm not going to go to a job in the pursuit of entrepreneurship when it's not bringing in money. Because again, if it's not bringing in money, it's simply a hobby. So be the person that if you have to change your perspective, that it's not you working a 9 to 5, is you becoming your own investor. Do what you have to do. Make sure that when you clock in that you're not wasting any time, not wasting any money. So that way it can get you quicker to that 100% full-time entrepreneurship in a space that you're able to be successful. Then you continue to watch your energy, the business and everything just continue to funnel down and be this lost thought because of not taking and being woman or man enough to say, you know what? I need to go get that job. And I'm okay with that. Like I said, my job was a source of purpose because of me being able to work with youth, but also served as the funnel for Insurance Hub so that I can make sure that I was fully covered, retirement plan that now I can continue to invest in even though I've walked away from the job, and then more importantly, allow me to have some source of stability so that I'm able to survive and not robbing Peter and Paul just to try to make ends meet. There comes a point where in entrepreneurship, you got to put away childish stuff and be able to make those mature and responsible decisions because of the longevity of your business. As always, grace and peace.